You want to play more poker, but you don't really feel like it, and something is holding you back. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can play more poker despite feeling this way.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game.
We're going to talk about several things in this video. If you're wondering why you should listen to me on this topic, I'm someone that's played so much poker in my life, guys, and I've never had a strong issue of not playing enough. It's been the opposite. I've had an issue with playing too much. Back, 10 years ago, when I started playing poker, like 17, 18 years ago, actually, I was playing like 80 to 100 hours a week. So just grinding. And then since then, I've been coaching thousands of hours, hundreds of different poker players, and I find out that this is a major issue for a lot of people.
Let me fix that.
So that's why I'm going to cover this topic, and I'm going to tell you how you can change this. After talking to just so many people, I feel I have a very good grasp and a very good understanding of how you can pull this out of yourself. And then later in the video, I'm going to talk about if you even want to do that. So it's going to get interesting. So the first thing let's talk about is you want to set a sustainable schedule for yourself with a reward system. What is a sustainable schedule? Something that you can stick to consistently. Let's say you're somebody that plays like maybe 10 hours a week or 15 hours a week or 20 hours a week or whatever. And you're just like, that's it. I'm motivated now. I'm going to start playing 80 hours a week. This is the schedule I'm going to set. I'm going to study for an hour a day. Then I'm going to go ahead and grind for, 10 hours every single day. No days off, this and that. Guys, I promise you, if you're doing that, you're guaranteed setting yourself up for failure.
This is not sustainable.
What you do want to do is have some kind of range of hours that you currently are playing. Let's say it's 20 hours. Let's just use this example. If you're playing 20 hours, I wouldn't recommend jumping anywhere further than like 30 or 40 on the week. You gotta make small changes, guys, okay? So set yourself a schedule. Let's say you're like, okay, I wanna take 2 days off. So let's go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's play those 5 days and let's play 7 hours per day. So now you're at 35 hours per week. So how are you gonna do this and how are you gonna actually stick to this? This is where the reward system comes in play. And don't worry, later we're gonna talk about motivation as well. I know a lot of people wanna hear about the motivation. I'm gonna go deep on motivation, but let's stick to this for now. 35 hours is what you wanna play, 7 hours per day. That's your goal, let's just say. For some people watching this, that might be too big of a goal. You might wanna step down to 5 hours per day, 4 hours per day, whatever's a little bit more than what you've been doing to start. And for some people watching, they're like, oh, I want to go to like 9 hours per day. That's fine too. We're just using a middling example, let's call it. Let's say 7 hours per day. That's where you want to be. Make sure that any day that you play 7 hours, let's say you start this coming Monday, you play 7 hours that day. At the end of that day, you have to give yourself some kind of reward.
Watch Netflix.
It could be binge watching maybe your favorite TV shows at the end of the day.
Say my name.
It could be eating your favorite ice cream that's kind of like a treat at the end of the day. It could be taking a hot bath, going inside of a jacuzzi if you have one somewhere in a hot tub or something like that. It could be literally anything that brings you pleasure and joy, okay? Any kind of carrot or cookie or whatever you want to call it towards the end of that day is what you want to be giving yourself. Now, the interesting part is if you don't play 7 hours, let's say you play 6 hours or 5 hours or 4 hours. So if you don't play that full 7 hours, you must take away that reward.
Okay, that is sad.
Let's say you're somebody that wants to eat your favorite food at the end of every day and that's what makes you feel happy. Well, guess what now? If you don't put in your 7 hours, you deprive yourself of that steak or that salad or whatever like that really lights you up that you really like to eat at the end of that night. Whatever your reward is, right? I'm assuming your reward is a food in this specific case. But whatever that reward is, you don't give yourself that reward. Maybe your reward is just sitting down, lounging, watching TV for a couple hours. It could be movies, TV shows. If you don't put in the 7 hours, guess what? You don't give yourself that reward. You have to be self-managing with this. If you don't put in your 7 hours, you don't allow yourself to do that, okay? You basically make it so that when that 7 hours is up, you're like, ooh, I can finally do that thing that I really was wanting to do. Number 2, Motivation. Let's talk about motivation. I know personally from working with so many people through coaching, like I said, thousands of hours, motivation is a major hurdle for a lot of people, a major struggle. If you're one of those people that feels that you're just lacking motivation, you are just like everyone else, including myself, just like everyone else. You can't feel motivated on a daily basis, guys. It's impossible. You literally can't do it. Like, think about the people that work 9-to-5 jobs. Do you think every morning they're like, just yes, like let's go in today and like crush it at the office? It's never gonna happen. And with poker, your motivation might come and go, and for the most part, it's probably not there. I can relate to this. This is something I deal with all the time. I'm not always motivated to play poker. In fact, I would say like 95% of the time I'm not motivated to play poker. But guess what? I do it anyways.
Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
You play those set amount of hours that you want to play, whether you feel like it or not. You're putting in the hours whether you feel like it or not. So you don't give yourself that option that you're like, oh, I'll just play if I feel like it. If you go that route of I'll just play when I feel like it, you're probably not gonna make a huge success out of poker. You're gonna play a lot less than you wanna play if that's the approach that you have. And to be successful at poker, you really need to be putting in those hours. You really want to get to a place where you're going to play whether you feel like it or not. That's the main key I want you to take away with this motivation. Do not rely on motivation. Realize that motivation is just a feeling that's going to come and go whenever it wants. It comes sometimes, it goes sometimes. You don't have control over motivation. That's the problem with motivation. You can't just want to be motivated tomorrow or the next day or next week. Okay, that's it. I'm going to be motivated. You can't just do that. But you can control sitting down and playing and not giving yourself that excuse of like, I don't feel motivated today, so I'm not going to play. Number 3. Now this is, I want you to hear this very clearly. Most poker players don't do this. You have to get ahead in poker. You must get ahead in poker. I mean, you have to be making enough money to not only live, but be putting money aside in investments or anything. It could be like maybe buying some real estate or investing in the stock market or crypto or whatever. Why do I say this? Why do you need to get ahead? It's because you can't put poker on a resume, guys, right? Like, so what happens 5 years down the line if poker ever goes away and you go to a job interview, on your resume you put like, oh, I've been playing poker for the last 8 years. They're gonna be like, that's insane. That's the same as being like unemployed. A future employer is not going to respect that. So you need to have some kind of safety net. You need to build some kind of safety net. It could be a different number for you than for everybody else or whatever. Have your own personal number that if poker ever goes to complete shit, at least you have some money to fall back on. Maybe you want to start a new business. Maybe you need $5,000 or $10,000 to do that. I don't know how much it is in your area. Maybe you need more. Maybe you need $20,000, $30,000. You need to be planning this stuff out, guys, so that if poker ever goes away, you're not just completely lost in a space of like, holy shit, I'm broke now and I can't pay my bills. It's going to be hard for me to get a job because, like I said, poker on the resume is not a very good look for anyone. I don't think any employer really understands that, right? So if you're making just enough money to tread water and just enough money to get by and you basically have $0 in the bank, you need to figure out a strategy to play more poker, play higher quality poker, or play higher volume poker. That's a topic for another video. Now, the last thing I want to cover, which we'll call number 4, do you even want to play more poker? Now, this is something I find a lot, again, in coaching sessions that I do, where people sometimes say they want to play more poker, but they kind of don't. Let me explain. There's a certain personality type that really can grind without any limits, and they have no problem doing it, right? Let's say that person's over here. This is a very specific personality type, honestly. This person doesn't even need a reward system. They don't need anything. They're just like, they don't know how else to operate in life besides just work, grind, right? And then there's a person on this side of the equation that is always kind of, how can I play more poker? And they focus on how can I play more poker instead of actually just playing more poker, right? And their personality type is more along the lines of how can I have more freedom, or how can I play as little poker as possible with making as much money as possible, like playing in the highest quality games. And both these sides could be winning equations, but in this video we're focusing on the people on this side that want to play more poker, but they're not sure they want to play more poker. They kind of don't feel like it, but sometimes they do. We're going to focus on that side, right? Like we have been the whole video. Just actually do it for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, a month and a half. When I say do it, I mean play slightly more hours than you're used to, doing the setting a schedule and reward system like we talked about earlier in this video, and see how you feel. That's what I will say. See how you feel. Because you might do it and you might be like, this is just overwhelming for me and it's something I just don't want to do. It's very possible that you feel that way. And if you feel that way, like this is something I completely don't want to do, it's overwhelming for me, then I would say don't play more poker. And I know that sounds kind of crazy and contradicting to this entire video.
Damn right.
But it's important to listen to the way you're feeling. If you're feeling overwhelmed for a prolonged period of time, maybe you're forcing yourself a little bit too much. Okay, so play less poker and focus on playing in higher quality games. Focus not only on getting better using poker solvers like GTO Wizard or Lucid GTO, but also focus on, at the same time, playing in higher quality games, playing in better fish to reg ratios. When are the games good? Find out when the games are good, play those hours. Study more GTO. Like, you can make your play, or your hourly, let's call it, a lot higher if you're studying a lot and also playing in games that you're destroying. Maybe switching sites, things like that. Those are things that can be in the equation as well. I hope I covered what everyone is thinking here of how to play more poker, and then also kind of understanding yourself and seeing if that's something you even want to do, okay? Because both are very, very, very important in my opinion. If you liked the video, give it a like, just so we know that you like seeing videos like this and you want to see more videos like this. We'll produce more content like this. And share the video with your friends, especially the ones that are struggling with volume. Share this video with them because they can probably take a lot out of it. Subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck at the tables.